Hello, my name is Lucas. This is a bit of lit. I'm here in my kitchen to talk about Horror Mayhem and Maybe Midrash, which are two reading events for BookTube in May that I am participating in. Now, I had promised that I would be reading Tao Te Ching by Lao Tzu, and also Charles Brockden Brown, the first American novelist in some respects. His Wieland, which is his first novel, and I failed both of them. I could not continue. Now, when it comes to Lao Tzu's Tao Te Ching, the introduction and the appendices, and the glossary at the end, very helpful, very useful, my kind of thing. The text itself, I wish it had more footnotes to explain some of these things. You can see some of them have footnotes and some of them don't. But even then, the footnotes don't help me, myself as a reader. I just don't get it. It's nothing against Taoism or Taoist thought. I have read other Eastern Chinese philosophical texts like Mencius's work and Confucius's Analects. I think those are much easier to understand. But I also read them, Confucius's Analects I read, and it had really, really useful footnotes. The Mencius one I think is just naturally easy to read. But this is impenetrable to me. This is the second time I've tried to read it, and there are a few of these phrases in here, or statements, or I don't know what to call them, that I can sort of understand and get what it's going for, but it's philosophy, and philosophy from any country is unreadable. So it's not that the ideas in here are bad. I just literally don't understand it in this text. And this is my second time reading it. I am hoping that the other Taoist book that I have, the book of Chuang Tzu, I think, it looks a lot different. It almost looks more like prose compared to this kind of thing, where it's not poetry, but it kind of looks like poetry. Maybe in the Chinese it is poetic, I don't know. But yeah, Tao Te Ching, never again. This is my second time reading it, and I'm lost. I don't get it, and I don't enjoy it, and I'm just not going to read it ever again. That's not to say I can't enjoy things inspired by Taoist beliefs. I have nothing against that, or Taoist ideology. I have nothing against that. I cannot read that. I cannot understand it. Someone could explain it to me, and then maybe I'll think, oh, that's interesting. But the book itself, this edition at least, no. Will I ever try another edition? No. I've given up. I don't care anymore. The other book that I failed on, because it was boring and near incomprehensible because of the tremendous amount of purple prose, is Wieland, I think is how you say it, which is Charles Brockden Brown's first novel. It is the first American Gothic novel ever, from the 1790s, I believe. And it's certainly a very interesting read in some respects, but it's just really hard to get through because it's very Gothic in a sense. You can definitely see how someone like Edgar Allan Poe would have been inspired by him. I mean, you can really see that very clearly, and you can even see that going into H.P. Lovecraft in some respects. I mean, this dude is just so verbose in saying very little with a whole lot of words. It does create a disorienting effect, and it is like kind of good in that sense, but you kind of just wanted to move on. I didn't read terribly far into it. I got about a third of the way, maybe 40% of the way through the book. It starts off with someone spontaneously combusting, and then there's these supernatural elements and connections that other characters are having, and they're starting to believe that something very strange and disturbing is going on. There's this religious nut from Europe who comes to America. This is set sometime between the Revolutionary War and the French and Indian War, though it seems much closer to the French and Indian War. Maybe it actually is during the French and Indian War. I don't know. I think it's just a little bit after, though. And that's about all I really know. Because it's hard to understand, because it's just a slew of words and words and words. It's like the dam broke down and all the water is crashing in, but instead of water, it's just words that amount to very little, but add up to a lot. I don't know what I'm saying. This book is hard to understand. It's not written for me, and I found it boring, and I didn't enjoy it. But I do love, I find it highly entertaining that one of the first things that happens is that somebody spontaneously combusts. How does it end? I have no idea. What's it about? Oh, well, the introduction told me that it was about, it had a lot of influence from Godwin. Charles Godwin or something? Mary Shelley's father, Mary Wollstonecraft's husband, and his philosophy, but I don't remember any of his work. It's been a very long time. I suppose from what I remember of Charles Godwin, from what I read in college, which I don't remember what I read, but I remember he was very concerned with women, and this book in a way was concerned with women, but I don't know where it was leading to, so maybe it's a good book. It's just like written for a very different audience and just way too dense in its words, and it's just not scared, not interested, but I do love that somebody exploded. That I live for. Anyway, I don't like to not finish books, but I also don't like to read books I don't understand or get bored by. And sometimes you just have to admit defeat, as painful as it is. So I'll be moving on to Dune Messiah for Maybe Midrash, and for Horror Mayhem, I'm just gonna do a short story for the cosmic horror element. So that's it. Thank you.